friends, it's Kimberly here with Specialty Care Management and Reiki and Coaching. You know, it's interesting. I talk an awful lot about dialysis, specialty care management. Our dialysis products are very unique, and of course, dialysis and kidney disease and its prevention have been my passion. But it's interesting when we talk about, as many of you know, our suite of products here at Specialty Care Management is really geared at looking for those high cost areas, where the areas that typically can hit a group the hardest, right? So air ambulance is one of those. And a lot of times people will ask, well, why is it? Why do you think, you know, the prices for air ambulance are so high and so labile? And it's interesting because the catalyst for the high prices in air ambulance are similar to those of dialysis, and yet there's kind of an interesting dichotomy there. And when you look at the high prices for dialysis, a lot of times that's because, to a large degree, one of the factors are that it's a monopolistic market. For dialysis, you have two main players, or duopolistic market, as was discussed on the Freakonomics podcast. That duopoly is DaVita and Fresenius owning over 84% of the market. And what that does is it really lets them. Why are dialysis prices so high? Because they can be. In air ambulance, what we see is something quite different. It's similar in the fact that why are air ambulance prices so high? Because they can be. But it's really not because of a monopolistic factor. In fact, back in 2002, actually, before 2002, I should say, most air ambulances, they were actually owned by hospitals. And what happened back in 2002 was legislation that opened up this avenue, air ambulance programs, to more of the private market. And because of that, we saw air ambulance, just the sheer number of air ambulance companies doubled as a result of that market change. And really, this law also changed the amount that they could make from Medicare and Medicaid. And so, obviously, air ambulance providers doubled. So it's not really a monopolistic force. But here's the kicker. When you need air ambulance because of a life-threatening kind of situation, this is an emergency. And it's not like you have time to sit around and do some comparison shopping, right? And what I saw in the Pacific Northwest was, matter of fact, there was a trend for some employers to contract with air ambulance companies to get good rates. Matter of fact, at one of the hospitals I worked at, we had a benefit where we could pay $20 a month and have a subscription, so that when we needed this particular air ambulance company, we would be covered. I'll have that covered. However, what we found was that oftentimes it wasn't that ambulance, wasn't that company that was called. Maybe they're not available, or for whatever reason, another company is called. So when it's emergent like that, you lack the wherewithal to really do the due diligence and comparison shopping. So why are air ambulances so high? Oh, because doggone it, they can be. And prices for air ambulance have almost tripled since then. The average, they say, across the United States for air ambulance charges, you're looking at an average of $36,000 per ride. So what makes our air ambulance program unique? Our air ambulance program it's a clinician reviewed line item kind of review done by a physician who actually, this is his specialty. The physician that reviews these claims actually owned his own fixed wing and rotator craft. And so very knowledgeable in terms of what should be expected in terms of the billing for this. And we're seeing average discounts somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 60%, which is pretty phenomenal. We're seeing savings even above that of a pretty prominent competitor in the marketplace. If you want to take a peek at this, we're happy to. These programs can be deployed when a bill is received or even some prospective review and negotiation as well. If you'd like to see our air ambulance program up close, feel free to give any of us a call here at Specialty Care Management. In the meantime, make it a great day. Bye.